What's up, Berserker Ball fans? It's time for another chapter review for Kengan Omega. Kengan Omega chapter 191 entitled, You Were There. This is your host, Griever, as always. Now, I like this chapter. It's the finale, it's the finish of Koga versus Ryuki. I thought it might end this chapter, maybe the following chapter 192, but here is the declared victor in chapter 191. Now, I just read this chapter and I really like it. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is a damn good chapter. I really enjoy it, and you know why? The detrimentalness of using, because one of the biggest complaints, and I'm one of the complainers, trust me, but one of the biggest complaints about Koga and about the series in general, as far long as it has gone, is Nico style. People seem to despise the Nico style for various reasons, but all the amount of users using it, etc., and how broken, quote unquote, that it might be. Here, Koga has been showing, other than Weeping Willow, I have been fine with everything Koga has been showing. Adamantium Kata fits his karate style, fits his fighting style since chapter 1. So there's no problem with that. And a little bit of Flame Kata mixed in, you can sort of see it. The only problem was Weeping Willow. And right here in this chapter, what we get is, of course, Flashing Steel Smash. Fire Kata and Adamantium Kata mixed together. Now, here's the big detriment that I love. He doesn't just do it once like at the end of chapter 190. No, sir. This man does it once and then follows up with another Flashing Steel Smash. And boom, baby, hits him twice. Doesn't ring him out. That's what I was thinking. I was like, oh man, Ryuki, he might not actually KO Ryuki. And I don't know how some people are going to feel about a ring out, but it is what it is. But in this particular case, he can't follow up. And why? As Oma gets ticked off, because people seem to be under the impression like Koga has mastered these moves. He hasn't actually mastered Iron Fingers or even Iron Breaker to an extent. He hasn't mastered Indestructible. It's even stated multiple times, and now again in this chapter, that your Indestructible is not as good as Ryuki's Armor Clad, but is Indestructible as Armor Clad. So, and here's another detriment. So we're seeing that Koga might have learned the moves, but he can't use them near to the level of a real Nico-style combatant. A Nico-style fighter. He's incorporated a few of the Nico-style moves into his own karate and his own fighting style, but he hasn't been trained like Oma or any of the other people. So what happens? His hands are now fucked. They are fucked, ladies and gentlemen. Oma even states, I didn't teach that to you. You might have seen it, but I never taught it to you properly. So this is what you get. Those hands are at a damn commission. He states this. Oma says, Ryuki's better at Indestructible. You won't be using those hands anytime soon. And the finals are right around the corner. Spoiler warning ahead, but Koga ends up winning this match. However, this is a big thing. This is good for everyone that doesn't like the Nico style, doesn't like how Koga is seemingly taking all the techniques and yada 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 and seemingly being able to use them to win all these victories. I like this because it's showing that detrimentality of using moves that are more too advanced for you. Koga's not on that level yet, and he hasn't spent the time practicing these moves for Oma to teach him properly, and Oma's pissed off about this, watching this fight. Now, Ryuki ends up surviving both Flashing Steel Smash moves, and then goes forward for a Rakusha's Palm on Koga once again, and everyone's worried about it, and Gao Lang's like, you got to move. Seki's like, get out of the way, Koga. Cosmo, whoa. Adam laying there in a cast. Fuck. It's actually really good. And then we get the other supernovas going, go Koga. And then we get the guy that I think got a little done dirty in the Berserker Bowl tournament, Leonardo Silva. Leonardo Silva saying, you got this, don't you, Koga? And boom, he clenches his broken ass hands. Like, look, all his fingers are broken. Every single one of them, right? Even when he clenches this fist, It's not actually a complete fist. It's like, that's how he's clenching his fist. Because now his hands are screwed. So a karate dude who focuses on mostly punching is now going to the final. Yeah, Rahito's taking this. I don't give a shit. Rahito's taking it. Dark Horse Rahito for the W for the Berserker Bowl. But he goes for the Rakusha's palm and doesn't notice that Koga has used now. A lot of people might be pissed off about this. Gao style Earth Crouching Dragon. Bitch, right to the uppercut. Finished off with his own damn move. So, let's talk about this for a moment. People are unhappy about the Nico style. Koga using the Nico style. Fair, fine, dandy. If you're happy about it, unhappy, or it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that he did not use the Nico style to win. And I don't want to hear this whole, well, the Gao style is the predecessor to the Nico style. I don't want to hear that. Because that wasn't the point of him using Earth Crouching Dragon in this fight. It had absolutely nothing to do with the Nico style, any relation to the Nico style. It's Koga using Ryuki's own signature move against him to win. Because heavily, Ryuki has almost not abandoned his Gao style. But as Koga said before, and I'm still holding to this, you haven't become a better fighter since I first met you. You were already strong, but you've been stagnant. Learning the Koi style your Gao style has stayed stagnant. Instead of trying to improve and perfect the Gao style and take it to new heights, right? He hasn't let it, and so this is, from a character standpoint and from almost a meta standpoint, this adds fuel to that fire. This adds, look, I'm going to use your own move because with my fist, I've been watching you the whole time, and this is why he was able to use Flashing Teal Smash. Oma didn't teach it to him. He says it in this chapter, but he's watched it happen, and he thinks he can, and he tries to replicate moves that he's seen with the fist eye. And once again, the fist eye isn't exactly the Sharingan from Naruto or anything like that, but with all the fundamentals, unlike Yama Gohan, unlike Yama, this, with a fighter's mentality and a fighter's training and all the incorporation that Koga has been doing throughout the 200 chapters of the series, or 191, whatever, it stands to reason that he would watch these moves over and over and over, and then with the fundamentals in place, attempt to replicate them because he can see how the body moves and how it works. Because I've seen a lot of people talking about how the Koga's fist eye is being treated sort of like the Sharingan from Naruto a little bit, and that's not correct. Well, that's not exactly what's going on here. He's not copycatting because he's seen it once. He's not Kisuke Urahara. He's not, Itachi or anything like that. It's just that with all his already built fundamentals, and seeing a move over and over and over and over and over again, and knowing how the muscles move and how the body works with the fist eye, he's able to attempt replication. And we saw the errors of doing that at the beginning of this chapter. But then a move that he's seen countless times with Ryuki over and over, and remember, there's been time skips involved. He uses the Gao style Earth Crouching Dragon to uppercut and win the damn fight. This is good. This is great, in fact. It's I told you, you've been stagnant. This Koi style, the Rakusha's Palm, the Blink, all that stuff. Like, not that it's bad to have in your arsenal, but you've forgotten your basics. You've forgotten how to improve your fighting style. You never incorporated it. All Ryuki's doing, he didn't incorporate the Koi style into the Gao style and make it his own. He just copied what Setsuna taught him and uses the two styles separately. He doesn't really combine them. I mean, yes, he tried to he used Blink and then used the Gao style moves, but once again, that's not incorporating. That's just using one style and then following up with another style. That's a two-part attack. It's not a seamless transition. So I really enjoyed this. I thought that this was poetic, at the very least, that Koga doesn't finish him with the Nico style, finishes him with his own signature move, sort of, not to add insult to injury, but to try to wake him up. Like, look at what I did. I used your own move against you, and the old you may or may not have seen that coming. So, And he said, like, Koga remarks on this and says, you weren't wrong. I rely on others way too much. And the self-awareness, as I said a few reviews ago, I really enjoy that Koga and Ryuki dynamic now because they seem to be sort of self-aware. Sanjo's finally being self-aware about the problems that people have with Koga and Ryuki as characters, and he's been making them come to the forefront and talk about it in universe. It's been very self-aware, and I think it's intentional because Koga acknowledges, yes, I rely on others way too much. That's how I learned everything, but I also relied on you the most. I knew you were stronger than me since the beginning. I begrudgingly didn't want to admit it, but you were, and I admired you, and I wanted to be strong as you and stuff like that, so you were always visually in my mind and stuff like that. No problem with that whatsoever. It works from a character standpoint, and I just really enjoy this. I really enjoyed this. We have an official winner. They're calling it an upset. Of course, everybody is cheering, and we know that Koga now has advanced to the finals. Now, of course, he's there holding his broken-ass hands, and trust me, the only thing I can see a problem with this is if they try to, like, I know he's going to try to indestructible Iron Breaker his fingers to be able to use them to form fists to fight against Rahito in the finals, but fact of the matter is, other than that, which I really hope they steer away from, he's broken his hands to fight his character fight, which is Koga versus Ryuki. There's no bad blood between Rahito and Koga whatsoever. This is, Koga has just shown he has shined right here. He's advanced. He's beaten Ryuki, the big thing, blah, blah, blah. He's had his Naruto Sasuke moment. Now it's time for Rahito to win the whole thing, in my opinion. So, as I say, they call it an upset. The Fist Die has defeated the dragon, yada, yada, yada. So, and everyone seemingly is quite proud. Now, the one little tidbit at the end is interesting. Who is our man, Jackie Lee, or Shen Wulong, who I love, starts off, he's already walked away from the match, or maybe he was going to get beer or get food or something like that. I don't remember if that was stated like in a previous chapter, like, does anybody want anything? Because they've constantly been doing that, you know, Joji and Shen and stuff like that. So he is currently in the crowd, and everyone's like, holy crap, did they turn on the AC in here? Why do I feel so cold all of a sudden? He's walking by because he's apparently furious. He's pissed off. The connector himself at the end of the chapter, extremely irritated, extremely furious in his own words. But he starts off very calm and very collected, and I really like this where he says, well, that was satisfying. I'm just going to go say goodbye to my friends. He's clearly talking to Zaiji Jin's brother there. I always forget his name, but who cares about Zaiji or his damn brother? Those two are, nobody cares about them. So, but he is talking on the phone to him, being like, I'm going to go say goodbye to my friends. He's like, well, that's just rude. I have friends too, you know. And it's just like, so, but he said, what friends? You don't have friends? He goes, yeah, I got my beer buddy Uncle Joji. I got my beer buddy Joji. I got my beer buddy Yamagohan. What are you talking about, man? I got friends. I'm cool. I'm hip. You know, so I kind of like that. But once again, he said that he's not the most emotional person, but he's now furious. Now, who is he furious about? No one's ever made me this furious before. I have no idea. What happened in this match to make him furious? He noted that Ryuki had not fallen. I forget exactly what words he used. He said he walked away when he saw Ryuki acting a certain way, and he said, "Oh, like, no, I know what he's fallen into this way of things, or something like that." I forget exactly what he said, but is this implying that he's pissed off at Ryuki? Or is he pissed off at the one that made Ryuki that way, which would be Setsuna? And if we believe that Shen, Oma, and Ryuki are all connected through this cloning thing, maybe he's very disappointed and pissed off at the direction Ryuki has been taken by Setsuna. So is it Setsuna that he's pissed off at? I don't see any indication of that either, though. So I'm very curious on who he's actually furious at, who he's pissed off at. Is it Ryuki? Is it Koga? Is it Setsuna? I can't think of anybody else. And he says he's just going to go say goodbye to Yamagohan and Joji, so it's not like they pissed him off. So I have no real idea on who it could possibly be. I really don't. But that's the end of the chapter. I know it was a bit of a long review, but it is the end of the fight. and there was plenty to talk about in this particular one. Once again, I love the fact that they ended it, that Koga used his own move against him, sort of like, wake up, this is who you are. Sort of like if, I don't know, if Goku started using all of, like, Frieza's moves. Sort of like in Dragon Ball Super, for all the faults of Dragon Ball Super, one of the best things in the Dragon Ball Super anime, I forget if this was in the manga, when Roshi said, powering up, bigger and more destruction, bigger blast, bigger this. Who taught you that? Vegeta? Frieza? I don't remember ever teaching you that that's how you fight. That's what martial arts is about. I never remember teaching you that. And then Roshi goes to show that he can actually hold his own against Jiren for a few seconds. You know what I mean? That was impressive as fuck. That speech, once again, Roshi, badass old man up here. But that, I think, right here is sort of a similar idea. It's like, wake up. Learning the Koi style doesn't make you a better fighter if you abandon still trying to improve and master your own style. You know what I mean? So there's a lot there. I really liked it. I thought it was very poetic that he ended up, you know, this is how, remember how you fight. This is your style. Your style is still just as good as every other style. You know, maybe reevaluate the Gao style all over again. Start from scratch and build yourself back up with it, because, you know, the Koi style clearly isn't the answer to solving all your fights. Just saying. It's powerful, but if you don't incorporate it and you start abandoning the Gao style, that's not going to work. You're just replacing A with B, you know, but you already have the fundamentals of A, so it's, I don't know. Anyways, so that's the review. I know it was quite a longer one, but it's the first chapter of 2023. Yeah, it's the first chapter of 2023, and we ended off round 3. So I'm wrong. I don't have the graphic remade for this new layout, by the way. What do you guys think of the new layout? I think it's kind of pretty. And yeah, so going forward, we're going to be starting with this style and stuff. But I lost once again. I'll have the bracket up for the next review, I'm sure. But I'm betting on Rahito. I'm betting on the Dark Horse Rahito to take the finals. I believe we'll probably have a chapter in between 192. We'll not be seeing the start of the finals yet. I think we'll have a whole chapter with some other stuff going down. Maybe a worm plotline chapter just to piss off the fan base even more. But once again, I don't mind the worm plotline. So. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like, comment, and subscribe as always. And don't forget, we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers as soon as possible. And I'll be watching and or reading Mob Psycho 100 once we hit that goal. So looking very much forward to that. And we'll see you guys back here next time for the next Kengan Omega review for Chapter 192. See you guys next time. Bye-bye.